Today I presented on the effects of C21 on pulmonary hypertension and the resulting fibrosis from pulmonary hypertension. We showed that C21 attenuates progression of the pulmonary hypertension at the hemodynamic level, but actually reverses the pulmonary fibrosis and prevents the cardiac fibrosis resulting from pulmonary hypertension. I think it's a direct effect from fibrosis because the hemodynamic values were still a little high compared to control. So C21 doesn't fully restore the hemodynamic values. It just halts the progression. It doesn't go to the extent of monocrotaline does with the pulmonary pressures, but it's still high. So it's definitely a direct effect on fibrosis or inflammation's effects on creating fibrosis. I do believe that C21 would be a great treatment for pulmonary fibrosis, direct effect of pulmonary fibrosis. If there's a sort of an idiopathic pulmonary fibrotic disease, I think that C21 would be a great treatment for that. We tried C21 in a doxorubicin model of cardiomyopathy, and we did not see a great effect. But the model for doxorubicin is completely different from any other kind of heart failure model. Musha has done on C21 and myocardial infarction, so we tried to kind of mimic that study. But what doxorubicin does is it just destroys the heart. It's toxic to cardiac progenitor cells, it's toxic to cardiomyocytes, and it's toxic to cardiofibroblasts. We don't think that C21 works in this doxorubicin model because just the doxorubicin model itself is just too robust. So we think there's not enough for C21 to affect. So I think there is a direct effect from the AT2 receptor, but I also think that there is an effect on the renin-angiotensin system itself to regain this balance and homeostasis in the renin-angiotensin system. And I think with pulmonary hypertension, you have an increase in ACE, and actions with C21 reduced ACE expression with pulmonary hypertension. And what we also see is in pulmonary hypertension a decrease in ACE2, and C21 dramatically increased this expression. So ultimately what happens is a normalization of the ACE to ACE2 ratio. It's restored to control levels. So I think that's a very big component in the mechanism. And also at the receptor level of AT1 receptor and AT2 receptor, we see the same kind of normalization back to control levels in expression, and we also see an increase in MAS receptor expression with compound 21 effects. So I think it's definitely affecting this whole renin-angiotensin system, and MAS receptor itself also has antifibrotic effects too. So our next step in research will be looking at pulmonary fibrosis in the bleomycin model. It's just the classic pulmonary fibrotic model, and we think C21 will have a great effect on this.